UFC 257, Charles McGregor versus Dustin Hoffman. It's gonna be a great fight. I'm gonna give you 3 keys that McGregor has to do to win. I'm gonna give you 3 keys that Hoffman has to do to win. Now the thing is, it's southpaw versus southpaw, so there's gonna be some inherent vulnerabilities. First thing, let's talk about McGregor going into this bout. It's the rematch. You know what happened last time. Dustin ran in sloppily, got hit behind the head clattered off the floor. It was a humbling experience, but he's coming back so much better since that loss. He's looked amazing since going up to 155.
Let me bang, man. I want to do that, man. Let me bang, bro.
Let me bang, bro. Let me bang, bro. Let me bang, bro.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
McGregor, we know what he's done in his career since that fight. He's really revolutionized the game in a lot of ways. Let's talk about McGregor real quick. 3 keys to victory for McGregor. One thing he's going to want to do, since it's southpaw versus southpaw, is he's going to want to get out on the outside of Dustin's lead hand. Now let's paint a little more context, because Mike is really good at mimicking Dustin's movement. Dustin has a habit of doubling up on his backhand, switching stances, and then winging the right lead, which then becomes his rear hand. So what McGregor has to do is initially get a read on that movement. So he's going to get an initial read, and then once or twice after that happens, because Dustin tends to do that more than once, he's going to be able to step to the outside of the right hand and bang the left straight or left uppercut. So the first one will be the left straight. So I'm going to take choppy steps. McGregor is out towards my left. As soon as I can clear that positioning, clear his shoulder rather, I'm going to be able to bang the left hand over the top, which you know is McGregor's #1 punch, that left straight going over the shoulder. So one more time. What McGregor has to do is not get caught in line of that left hand. So him going straight back, bang, he's gonna get caught. So what's key is he has to get to the outside of that shoulder, which actually becomes a lot harder because Dustin's arching that punch. If Dustin were to throw it straight the way he probably should, it'd be easier to come over the top. But once again, Dustin's gonna be coming forward. He's gonna stay to the outside, cut, left hand. Left straight's gonna be the first one. So the first key is stay on the outside of that lead hand, which in that case is going to become Dustin's rear hand, and bang the left straight. Second thing, what he loves to do, if he can't find the right straight, which he typically does, he'll use that bolo left uppercut, which he likes a lot too. We'll do this more basic. We won't do all the steps. Basically, if he can clear Dustin's lead hand, we'll just do the lead step. If he can take that choppy step out here, and we can get Dustin leaning forward on his lead hand, he'll be able to throw that bolo punch where he drops his hand and he wings that uppercut. So he doesn't throw it in a typical fashion where, like a boxer does. It's like a boxer, but he wings it. So he drops that hand nice and low and he throws it from his hip, but he generates tons of leverage. What's good about McGregor is he knows the risks involved in the fight. So he knows when he can drop his hands and when he can't. He's like really a master at distance. So in instance where Mike throws that straight shot, as long as I can clear it, I can bang the uppercut. So those would be 2 basic ways for McGregor to win. First is hold step back, left straight. Second one is create that angle off the shoulder line and bang the uppercut. That's going to be another huge one.
Let me bang, man. I want to do that, man. Let me bang, bro.
Last but not least for McGregor, now we can go on all day really for what McGregor can do to win. He has so many different ways to win, and I expect him to win teaser. But against the wall, if he can back Dustin up, which I think he can, especially after he hurts Dustin, if he can get Dustin going up against the cage and get him to freeze with all of his feints that he does, all that weird McChicken movement that he does, he can then chop Dustin right to the breadbasket. You saw this in most of his fights, especially in the Chad Mendes fight, where he was able to dig that back leg right into the sternum and really take out the air from the tire. It really wore Mendes down. Remember, Mendes wasn't the same person after those first 2 or 3 teeps. So I'm here and I'll have good positioning. I'm gonna load my left knee, bang! 2 or 3 of those, Dustin is no longer the same fighter. 3 keys to victory. 1, once again, time that double right hand. When you feel him arch that lead shot, that right hand shot, I'm creating an angle, I'm banging the left hand. And it would be the same thing if you just use the uppercut. So he has two options. He can use the left straight, or he can use the bolo punch left uppercut. After you land one of those, if Dustin isn't on his back by that point, looking up at the lights, he'll probably have his back against the cage because he's hurt and stunned. And that's when you start attacking the body, attacking the body, attacking the body. Let me give one more small detail because the Dustin part is a little shorter. McGregor has to come out hard and fast. He has to get that respect, and he has to put in Dustin's mind flashbacks to that first fight. You have to make Dustin feel like, holy shit, I'm back in UFC 95. And then he's gonna start to freeze and panic, and then the fight's gonna go in that direction. Because once McGregor gets ahead, it's hard to stop. Dustin Poirier, what does he have to do? 3 keys to victory? Dustin has to use tons of feints. So once you come out, and me and Mike were talking about this a little bit. The first thing he has to do when he comes out is feint, and he has to actually avoid the fight for the first round and a half, maybe. So the worst thing he can do is come out, right, moving, and get excited and overcommit, and run right into a left hand. Because McGregor is really good in those first round and a half. So you're gonna have to expect Dustin to come out, pace himself a little bit, feint, use level changes, things like that, much like we can say Nurmagomedov did in maybe the second round or so, where he was using level changes and good lateral movement. Don't come out like Aldo, tense, and run right into that backhand. It's gonna happen. So come out, lateral movement, side to side, moving. Don't give him much of a target. Watch out for that back look, that high kick off the back leg. We saw what happened with Cowboy. Put him on clear street right away. So stay out of the range of the high kick and the low kicks, since he's added that to his game as well. Good level changes. So good level changes, constantly level changing, staying out of range, taking his time in the first round and a half. Not the most exciting details, but something that's necessary if he wants to win and not get knocked out in the first round. Number 2 for Dustin, work the body, right? So if he can manage to get McGregor against the cage, okay, which isn't the hardest thing to do. After the second round, McGregor will start to slow down slightly. If he can get him against the cage by pushing him backwards, first thing he has to do is he has to make sure that he has good inside positioning. Okay, there's a million ways to do that. So he's gonna have an underhook on one side, head on the inside, and he has to make sure that he's working the body. Okay, so number 1 is I wanna make sure I have good inside positioning. Dustin's gonna have good inside positioning with his hand, and then from here he's gonna start to work short shots to the body, come up high, get his hands high. Once he defends his head, we're gonna go right back to the liver, working the body, kneeing the legs, using one of McGregor's tricks and using the shoulder. That's gonna be a big detail. So number 2, put him against the cage, work the body. Number 3, talking about being against the cage, force a takedown, but not in the way that you would think. So if I'm pushing McGregor against the cage, we know how hard it is to take him down. So just going for takedowns, we saw how hard it was for Nurmagomedov to put him on his back. I don't think Dustin has half the wrestling that Nurmagomedov has. So what I want McGregor thinking is the threat of the takedown. Oh shit, maybe Dustin's gonna be able to take me down. It's something more I have to worry about. Tires his arms out, he's pulling up on the wizard. I'm swelling his shoulders up. And then from here, he's gonna go back to working the body. So threaten the takedown. As he defends, work the body with punches, knees, shoulders, etc. The fact of the matter is this: Dustin has to run the clock and he has to take the fight deep, 4th, 5th round if he wants to win this fight. McGregor can win it really in any spot, but his best chances are gonna be in the first round or 2. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's UFC 257, McGregor versus Dustin. Make sure you guys subscribe, check out my Patreon link. The link is in the first comment pinned below, so check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care.
Coach, who do you think is gonna win?
Oh, the winner, I'm gonna go McGregor by vicious knockout. What do you think?
I'm say,
Hoffman?
nah,
Who do you want? You want Dustin to win, right? Yeah.
I'd prefer him. I mean, I don't know, I stay unbiased, but based off the first fight, it's hard to pick Poirier. But, see what
If
he
you
did.
had to put money on the fight, what would you do?
McGregor.
McGregor, we have 2 McGregors. Ronnie, who do you got?
Fuck that Poirier.
Oh shit, we got 1 Poirier, 1 McGregor.
I want Dustin to win, but I think McGregor's gonna
McGregor?
I'm saying Poirier.
If you had to put money on
Poirier,
it,
I'm going for
Poirier? If you had to put money on it, you're gonna bet on this fight, Poirier.
I don't know. I really don't know.
We need something. People are watching.
Poirier.
All right, 2 Poiriers, 1 McGregor. Pete, last but not least.
I mean, I think McGregor's his favorite. So if
He
I
is.
was betting in odds, I would put
The smart man here. All right. So he puts money on Poirier. 3-1 on Poirier. If you want to make the money, it's on Poirier. If you want to lose the money, it's on Poirier. McGregor takes it.